Hi. Sorry, I'm a little wet. I literally just took a shower. I have stuff that I was gonna do today, but I saw this video and I just have to talk about it because it's one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. I've never seen something so lame, so whack, so repulsive. There's people who've watched my live streams for a while know that I'm not a huge fan of watching like Megaton content via YouTube. It's nothing against YouTubers. It's nothing against the other content that's out there. It's just generally it's not something that I would willingly like watch, and it's because for the most part I like informational content. I like historical content, and there's only a couple of YouTubers that do Megaton content that do that, and one of them is me. And then there's a couple others that are like floating around that do stuff, and for the most part like I always have like nitpicks, so I basically don't really watch a lot of content. But there are some people that I've formed opinions about, like like yeah. And one of them is the person that we're gonna watch the video of today. And it's not because I'm trying to get you guys to all hate them too. I just want you to understand things that I know from my perspective. And I also want to kind of explain why this is kind of like, this shouldn't be like acceptable behavior for like content creators. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for like, I know my goals are completely different from most Megaton or YouTubers in general. I don't make Megaton content, or I don't do the scans, I don't do the translations, I don't do the fan art, I don't do all that stuff for any reason besides I genuinely just want to do it. I just want to do it. It's just a thing that I want to do, right? Like I genuinely just want to share information that I learned. I found that like I think it first started off with me doing trivia posts, and it's kind of graduated to being something more than that. Of course, I'm just messed up my screen. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. Oh no, hold on. Dang it. Okay. I full screened my Chrome and I don't know how to unfull screen it. How do I unfull screen a Chrome tab? Whatever. Okay, doesn't really matter. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, for me, it's just like for the love of it. I only do content that I actually want to watch or engage with, which is why I rewatch my videos a lot, because sometimes I forget things because I've made a million videos. Thank you, Jillian. Yes, I just closed the tab. I just closed it and it worked. So with all that being said, this is something that's gonna be me reacting to someone else's video, and this is by no means permission for you guys to go and be all like annoying or anything. Because there's no need for that. It's just I think that it's really important that you guys see this, and maybe I could explain in some context, and maybe if there's any of you guys here who are content creators and are kind of curious about the process, maybe you can learn something about how to do it the right way. So let's get into this. It's gonna be a very short stream, by the way. If you're like excited that I'm streaming, don't be, because that's kind of as soon as I'm done talking about it, we're done. So this video is called Atlas Finally Apologized to Me, from the YouTuber Eric Langdon. This is his second channel, actually. I don't know if his main channel is linked here somewhere. Okay, it is.
Hey guys, what's up?
I have a lot of beef with Eric. He's actually one of the YouTubers. I tried not to watch videos like this because I don't want to comment on. I mean, I try not to watch YouTubers because I get compelled to comment. I think his videos are some that I've actually talked about before, because to be honest, he's like said some pretty dumb things, and it's made it really hard for me to even talk about. So anyways, let's watch this video. He's gonna explain it in this, but essentially what happened is last year when SMT5 was coming out, he asked for a review code by sending an email to a PR person for Atlas, and they didn't reply to him. He didn't get a code, and he got really mad. So let me see if I can find his also his crappy history of SMT videos. Awful. Um, let's see. And I don't want to really like bash him too much because that's not really the point. I want to see if I can find his review for SMT5 because that's where the I want you guys to see what he said. And that way when you watch it, or that way when you watch the video, it's less weird.
Hey guys, what's up? It's finally hates me. Refused to give.
Okay, so basically here's his response in his review about SMT5. Here's what he says.
It's even been mentioned, and I'm already regretting mentioning Persona in this video. But you get the idea. So don't do that, please. Get yourself informed. I have a video on the story of Shin Megami Tensei, the whole series.
Is the audio good? Can you guys hear?
And I'm gonna leave that in the description below. And I want to say one last thing before we leave.
So if like just let me know if the audio needs to be turned up a bit.
And is that I know I've mentioned this before, I know some of you already know this, but I have to say this. Atlus refused to give me a code, a review code, so I bought the physical version of this game. I was going to do that anyway, but either way, they gave the code to a lot of JRPG channels.
Remember, he said they refused to give him the code. He was forced to buy the game even though he was gonna do it anyway.
Not me, even though I sent 3 emails to different emails and they pretty much ignored me. I tweeted them.
He sent 3 emails and then he tweets at Atlas USA or Atlas West.
They ignored me. They refused to give me a code. So it might be because they don't think my channel is great for reviews because I don't really do reviews that often, or because someone.
For the record, when you get a review code for games by Atlas, at least you don't have to do a review. I can get the review code for Soul Hackers 2, and my video could literally just be me doing all the trivia things that I want to do, like mentioning every reference or something, and that could be my video. It's not necessarily that you're supposed to do it for reviews. Some websites get their review code just so they can make strategy guides. So then when on the day of release you can go and look up how to get this character or how to maximize this or how to fuse for this. There's way more reasons to get a review code than simply literally reviewing. It's just kind of like a misnomer. It's not necessarily for that. At least for Atlas. I don't know about all other companies. I just know for Atlas.
In the Atlus PR being the division that's in charge of giving codes to YouTubers.
The division, it's a single person. Atlas PR is one person.
Hates me. So if that's the case, that's in charge of giving codes to YouTubers, hates me. So if that's the case, and someone in the Atlus PR hates me, to that particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
Yeah, so he comes to the conclusion that Atlas PR, the one person there, must hate him, and then he flips them off. And let's see that again.
Particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
Yeah, he cusses them out, tells them to go to hell. Very, very mature response, right? To not getting a code to a game that you were already gonna buy. So, like, it's not that bad, right? It's Pascal, no. He wants to go outside, but I'm not letting him out right now. So now let's watch this video, which happens to be on a second channel, probably so he doesn't get in trouble for being such a little wimp, such a little loser about this. But let's see this. And I'm sorry. I usually try not to be so rude, but I genuinely dislike his response. It's such a little cowardly, wimpy loser, entitled. Like, you're not cool, you're not epic for being like, oh, if you Atlas. Like, that's like, okay, good. I'm so glad you were able to say that to nobody, because like the people you were directing, and I literally didn't watch your review. Anyway, and also there's a chance that Atlas staff might be watching the stream because I know they do sometimes. Hi. Don't blacklist me. Okay, before we get into it, let's take a quick Pascal break, actually. Here we go. Do 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 do. I don't think he actually wanted to go outside. He just wanted me to hold him. Is that what you wanted? He also doesn't really like when I take a shower. He likes to like rub himself on me to like get his smell on me again. So it could be just that, because now he's like all happy. Okay. Sorry, also I didn't greet everybody. I usually start this off with greeting. Let me do that real quick. Hi Mako. Hi Stay Fresh Steph. To answer your question, I cannot tell you. I have not played the DLC, so hi Jelinius. Hi Shiverstar. Lid40. Hi Aeon Metatron. Karamara Kamarama, hello. Hi Gab. Smeep Bop Dilly Up. That's a great name. Hi. Duality Pez, hi. And Benjamin, hi. Karos, hi. Karose? I feel like we talked about this before. Sodacal, hi. Okay, now let's get back to this video. Maybe I won't be so angry watching it now.
So I wanted to tell you guys that Atlus finally apologized to me.
Also, hi Goaty4.
me. Believe it or not, they reached out.
Look at how smug he is too. Atlus apologized to me. Like, he's so happy about this.
Finally apologized.
He smiles as he's saying it. It's so smug. It's like such a Karen-like thing. It's like when the Karen tells on someone, and then the manager's like, "Yes, we'll talk to that staff immediately," and the Karen just has that smile. This is that smile. It's so obnoxious. It's irritating already.
To me.
Like. Anyway.
Believe it or not, they reached out and apologized. So for those of you who don't remember or don't know what happened, on October, at the beginning of October last year, I asked another YouTuber for a contact from Atlus. I asked him, "Oh, can you give me an email, so I can reach out and ask for a Shin Megami Tensei 5 review code?" Because I have been hyping that game for a long time.
Hyping that game. I want to also address this. He says he was hyping that game. Let's look at his version of hyping Shin Megami Tensei 5. What did he do leading up to Shin Megami Tensei 5 that would quantify as hyping it up? Let's see. So the first thing he does is this video, this history of SMT. It's like not accurate. I remember watching this on stream and I didn't like it. I don't know if my comments there, if he deleted it or if I even commented at all. So that's one thing he did, right? Don't look like a witch. What? 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 I don't get the joke. So that's what. So he did. So it looks like he did 3 videos. He did the SMT full history. It's not accurate. Then he did the controversy video, and then he did the other controversy video. Oh, sorry, he did 3 videos, or 4 videos, because then he also did the, at long last, the official release date. So let's look at the controversy video. This is him hyping up the game. This is him hyping up the game. This is supposed to make us excited for SMT5. This is how he promotes SMT5, by the way. We're gonna have to watch it on 2x speed because it's gonna be really, or not 2 times, maybe 1.5.
It hasn't even been released. So today, I is currently one of the most controversial titles ever.
SMT5 is one of the most controversial titles ever, and it hasn't been released yet at the time that he made this video. That's crazy.
And it hasn't even been released. So today, I decided to talk about it to give my opinion about the fact that Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced way too early, and Atlus hasn't said anything concrete about it yet. We are still in the shadows. We still don't know anything about it. All we've been left with are a couple of statements from the developers saying it's still in development, it's still there, they're still working on it, and that's what they've been saying for the past few years. Now, the last time I talked about this particular topic on how
I thought 1.5 was going to be too fast, but he actually talks so slow that 1.5 actually works.
Persona has affected Shin Megami Tensei and Atlus' financial situation, It was a fiasco because of a fake tweet, but in that video that I deleted from my channel, I specifically explained my thoughts, my opinion on the matter, and how some things are just there as mere misconceptions. So what's going on? What's the controversy? What's the Shin Megami Tensei 5 controversy?
By the way, it's a minute and 30 seconds and he hasn't said what the actual controversy is yet.
The thing is as follows. Everybody knows at this point that Atlus has been milking Persona, specifically Persona 5, for the past few years, considering the huge success of the game and the series as a whole. Persona 4 and Persona 5 are already two of the most extremely popular JRPGs of all time. Most people have already played
God, it's already 2 minutes. Just tell me what the controversy is.
them. Most people love them. Remember that Atlus belongs to Sega. It's a subsidiary of Sega, so they gotta give them money, or else, yeah. Put yourselves in Atlus's shoes. If you were them, what would you do to gain money? I mean, Shin Megami Tensei might be a huge name in Japan. Outside of Japan, for the rest of the world, it is a big name too, but not as big, nowhere near as big. Shadowed Shin Megami Tensei. What would you do? From perspective that there's or whatever about this controversy. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 was first announced in January 2017, like months before the Nintendo Switch was out in the market. It was released as in the form of a teaser trailer, featuring a destroyed building, a number of demons, and then the students. You've seen these trailers already. And ever since then, they have been saying the same bullshit over and over again, like coming soon.
God, when does he talk about
I
it?
made a video called Where the Hell is Shin Megami Tensei 5? It stands right now because everybody's asking the same question. Where the hell is Shin Megami Tensei 5? What's going on? We want news on it. So in October of 2017, they released yet another trailer. And Kazuyuki Yamai, the producer of this game, this project, kinda took back his statement and described the development as not exactly far enough. He took that back and said, oh, they prefer to wait for a much better game, a very well-developed game, instead of a rush game. Half of the fans were sad, were angry, were disappointed. They wanted answers, they wanted a release date, they wanted everybody else just saying, it's there, working for the project, to both sides of the coin. I can put myself in both points of view, and I have a lot of things to say in favor of Atlus. So let me start with that. Atlus is...
I'm just gonna look at the comments because I literally don't know what he's talking about. He's kind of just like rambling. Is the controversy that it's not out yet at the time that he made the video? Is the controversy that it's just not there? Like, I don't understand what the controversy is. We're halfway through the video.
a company, like I said before, 2 years ago. So Sega is financing Atlus, therefore Atlus is a subsidiary of Sega. So the thing is that Atlus...
Like, I can summarize this entire 6 minutes in like 3 sentences. The Shin Megami Tensei 5 has not been released yet. That's the first sentence. Atlus is focusing on a lot of Persona content right now. That's the second sentence. Atlus is owned by Sega. Third sentence. That's all 3 things he said, dude.
everything in their power to milk the franchise that's been giving them money to finance a 5. You will milk it. There's been upcoming Persona franchise, of course, and therefore go on the piece.
Okay, so that's him hyping up SMT5, by the way. That's the first video hyping up SMT5. Very good hype. I'm so excited for the game, knowing that Atlus is milking Persona and Sega owns Atlus, and we have no release date yet. I'm so good that I'm so glad that we got that out of the way. That's a lot of hype. I'm super excited for the game. Let's see what else he has to say about SMT5 in order to hype it up, because he's hyping this game up right now.
During the last E3, at long last, some gameplay was shown from Shin Megami Tensei 5, included a release date, of course, for November. When I watched the trailer, it blew me away and I became hyped. I'm so excited for this release. Been waiting on it for a long time, and most of you probably know I've actually made various videos about it in the past, right? Then I learned about...
He made one video about it.
about all the internet drama. I noticed people comparing the game to Pokemon and Persona, ignorant of the history of the Mega Tensei series, and...
Oh, okay, so I guess this video is the whole... People compare SMT to Persona and Pokemon. For the record, class, can anyone tell me who else has compared SMT to Pokemon? If you can tell me who else has compared SMT to Pokemon, you win. There's no prize, there's no actual prize, but you win my respect, which is not really tangible, and it's like variable to change. Yes, Benjamin, Cosmo Conico himself compared SMT to Pokemon, and it's because it's an undeniable comparison. They're both JRPGs rooted in the monster capture genre. SMT didn't invent monster capture. I made a whole video about that if you wanted to watch that. SMT didn't invent it. They're not the first, or nor are they the last to do it. And they it's a similarity that's there. A lot of the gameplay you could argue is similar enough. Battles rely on buff debuff kind of, but not really, and and like strengths and weaknesses. Some Pokemon, you know, you get super effective if you hit that rock Pokemon with a water move. You get a super effective if you hit that fire demon with the water or ice move. You know, it's a very, you got to understand that comparisons aren't necessarily bad in and of themselves. They're very good for shorthand explaining something. If I'm going to explain SMT to someone who doesn't understand SMT, who doesn't know what it is and wants me to quickly explain it, no one wants a 10-page essay when you're like at a bar and someone goes, "What kind of games do you play?" And you go, I play this game called Persona and SMT. Like, no one wants you to go and explain the entire history of the game franchise. They want you to say very quickly what it is. And the best way to do that is to compare it to things that people might understand because they're invariably more popular. So you go, oh, it's like Pokemon, but it's a little darker and it's about like demons and gods and like destroying the world or saving the world. You get to choose, kind of like Fable too. Like, and then people go, oh, okay, so it's like Pokemon but dark, and it's like, kind of, yeah. And then they get a general idea of it. And if they want to know more, then they could be like, oh, well, tell me more. And then you go, it all started in 1986. Like, you know, you can do that if you want. But it's not a bad thing. It's the same thing with Persona, because Persona is significantly more popular than SMT. It says, and you can tell by the sales data that that's just a fact. So if someone is asking what's SMT5, you can go, oh, it's like Persona, but it's the other part of it. It's the other part of the franchise. They're connected, but they're not related, if that makes sense. And then they'll go, oh, okay, I like Persona 5. Maybe I'll pick up the SMT5. And then you both clap and you get another round of beer and everyone celebrates, right? So what's the problem with this comparison? There's no problem. The only real criticism is sometimes when people do make these very short like synopsis of the games, they don't do it justice, and they don't explain it well enough. Because if you are writing a review, then maybe you should write a more detailed explanation of how it relates to Persona or how it's similar to Pokemon, so people who are trying to read those explanations can go, oh, okay, these are the differences. It's not exactly like Pokemon. Because someone who's going to already read a review about the game might actually care to know more about it than a superficial explanation of it, a superficial shorthand. So it really doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing in and of itself. But anyway, also beer's good, Gatane.
Finally, the memes about the androgynous design of the main character.
Literally, who was mad about the character looking ambiguous in their gender? Like, I don't remember that being a thing. I think I might have replied to this. I don't know.
Now, the Shin Megami Tensei fanbase is...
This guy sucks. He kept complaining that his new videos aren't getting views because woke feminists are trying to cancel him for swearing. I mean, he did do that homophobic thing against that other content creator.
One of the most toxic fandoms I've seen in my life. It's horrible character. Now, the Shin Megami Tensei fanbase is one of the most toxic fandoms I've seen in my life. It's
so I already hate this. I hate whenever someone goes, the Shin Megami Tensei fanbase is super toxic. You know what's toxic? You are probably toxic, because when my version of the Shin Megami Tensei fanbase is pretty fun. When I scroll through Twitter, for the most part, I'm like, hee, this is so fun. When I'm on my Discord server and I'm like saying something dumb about something that like no one really cares about, I'm like having fun because people are like engaging with it and we're all being, for the most part, pretty respectful to each other. It's almost as if you have to cater your experience. If you just go ahead and you walk into a room of people who are Persona 5 fans and go, well, Persona 5 is so overrated, SMT better. It's like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen if you insult something that people are all gathering around saying they enjoy? Like, duh, of course there's gonna be toxicity, but there's always the vocal minority. It's like I have like 10,000 subscribers. I guarantee you at least like 10 to 20 of them are probably annoying. They're probably toxic. They're probably racist or homophobic or something. But that doesn't mean that those 10 people are the representation of all 10,000 subscribers. It's such a stupid perspective to have that, like, oh, you know, these 10 people who are hateful, yeah, that's everybody. That's everybody. No.
Horrible, and as a huge fan of the series, it often shames me to be a part of it. So you can only imagine the rage of most people when they saw all these comparisons to Pokemon and Persona. I'll agree that it's a little annoying reading these comments, but they come from people who don't know much about the series. Everything about monster or creature collecting or capturing is always compared to Pokemon, so it's normal. They don't know Shin Megami Tensei came way before Pokemon, and it might have influence to an extent, as a matter of fact.
I would love to see anything where anybody at the Pokemon Center or whatever, like, I would love to see them go, oh yeah, well, we were inspired by SMT. I guarantee you they're not. I can't even tell you in any way that that Pokemon is any way influenced by SMT, because there's no evidence for it. Someone who's Benjamin even said it seems to be inspired by Dragon Quest V, and I would agree. It definitely gives off that kind of vibe. We've gotten a million explanations for the origin story for Pokemon, so we know some guy liked catching bugs. He just turned his bug catching into something else where you can catch your monsters. It's just that. Like, sometimes these simple stories that we hear, maybe that's just the case, you know?
Most people also don't know that Persona is a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off that recently
actually, it's not a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off.
became its own series. The ginormous commercial success of Persona 4 and 5 left
Also, this is such a stupid phrase.
Megami Tensei spin-off that recently became its own series.
It recently became its own series. So, like, basically, like, the Emperor of Japan came to Atlas and was like, Persona is no longer a spin-off. It is its own series. Because because like, who ordains this? Who decides, oh yeah, it's no longer a spin-off? Because are you ever gonna stop being your parents' like daughter or son? Maybe if you come out as like non-binary, but other than that, you're always gonna be like their like offspring, you know? Like, it's pretty ridiculous to go, oh yeah, well, you know, ever since Elon Musk got more popular than his dad, he's no longer his dad's son. Like, ever since Persona became more popular, it stopped being a spin-off, don't you know?
The ginormous commercial success of Persona 4 and 5 led some of their fans astray, far away from the franchise's origins. So why make a drama about it? Instead of destroying these people with insults or attacking them, why don't you just teach them? Just tell them SMT came before and that Persona is, or...
Yeah, why don't you just teach them instead of insulting the entire fan base by calling the SMT fan base super toxic?
Or was a part of it. There's also people saying that this series seems to be back in a negative connotation to the high school setting. Nothing really wrong with that, as all first games in the series, most of them being Japan exclusive, take place in high school with a...
Let's see. I want you guys to hear what he said again really quick.
Nothing really wrong with that, as all first games in the series, most of them being Japan exclusive, take place in high school with a student as the main character.
So let's see. All first games of the series take place in a high school. And the main character is a student. So let's see. Nakajima took place in high school, and not really, because the first game that you play, he's not in high school, but he is a high school student. So let's give him half a point for that. Hidito, not a high school student, but high school age. So let's give him half a point for that. So SMT1 protagonist, he is a high school student. Doesn't take place while he's in high school at all. He's just high school aged. It starts off with him at home, and then he goes to the mall. I don't even think he ever goes to high school, so he gets half a point for that. SMT, if for the most part, it starts off in a high school, then it becomes then he ends up in the Makai realm. So let's give him a point because it's both a high school age student and they're in a high school setting for part of the game. So far he's got 2.5 points. SMT Nocturne, high school age students, not in high school setting, half a point, so that's 3 points. Strange Journey, they're like in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're not in a high school setting, so 0. 9, they are high school aged, but I think because they're literally 18, so I guess technically they could be high school age, not high school setting, so they get another half point, so that's 3.5. Imagine, not high school setting, high school aged, so another point, or 0.5. It's crazy how almost none of this is accurate. Literally one game, and that's if. So it's almost like you should shut up, Eric Langdon, because you don't know how to research. It just took Yeah, just all he had to do is a quick Google search, quick Wikipedia. Where did the games take place? And then he'd find out. Sorry, Pascal's sleeping on my chair, and I moved the chair, and he's like, why? Why did you do that?
Hell, even the MC from Nocturne is a freaking student, for Christ's sake.
Wow, that's crazy. It's like it's the only game you've played, because I'm pretty sure it is the only game he's played in the main line outside of like 4 and Apocalypse.
School with a student as the main character. Hell, even the MC from Nocturne is a freaking student, for Christ's sake. But I know it's hard to go back after both games from Shin Megami Tensei 4 came out, which do not take place within a school setting. The point is, come on, give it a break. SMT has always been connected to high schoolers and shit.
Yeah, so anyways, that's his other video hyping up the game. So aren't you excited?
All about the history of Shin Megami Tensei. Wait for the release, be hyped. That's all. Thanks for watching.
He's a freaking high student for he's a freaking high student, for Christ's sake. So just get excited for SMT5. He said it doesn't really matter. I did speed it up. No, did I speed it up? I don't even know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let me make sure this is not sped up. This is not sped up. Oops, don't want to download it. So that's him hyping up the games. So let's go back to the actual video, the meat. Hi, Rad.
You know, I had made.
By the way, Radapon is the reason why I'm watching this video. I was having a blessed Sunday. I was like, I just finished eating my break lunch, because I had a late breakfast or early lunch. I just finished eating that. I had my coffee. I was doing my little back stretches that I do after I eat. I watched my dishes. I was pretty pleased with myself. And then Radapon was like, so I saw a little video. It was called Atlas Finally Apologized to Me. And then I watched it, and I was like, God, I hate this. This literally, like, this ruined my whole August. Like, the rest of this year will not be good because of this. The rest of summer won't be good for this. All of 2022 is now horrible.
Made several videos already about the dramas, the controversies of that game, you know.
So that's it. So remember, this is what he says.
Megami Tensei 5 review code. Because I have been hyping that game for a long time, you know. I had made several videos already about the drama.
Hyping the game about the drama, about
the controversies.
That is not hyping. That's like me being like, hey, Katane, you're ugly. And then he's like, why you gotta be so rude? No, I'm just hyping you up because, you know, I'm talking about you. I'm making people excited to hear what you have to say. I'm just hyping you up.
Of that game, you know, how it kept getting delayed, you know. But I was also saying that I was really excited, you know, when the game was finally announced. You know, I made this video where I was so hyped and say, man, you know, we're finally getting this game. It looks amazing.
By the way, he's like never really said that he liked the way the game looked in either video that we looked at.
Right, so I reached out to this to Atlus, to the Atlus PR. What's PR? It's the press email. These are the people who manage social media and give review codes to YouTubers. Okay, so I reached out. I sent an email to this guy, and I didn't hear back. I didn't hear back at all. So I found a website called Woovit.
Okay, so what he's talking about, he's going to talk about this website called Woovit. Woovit is basically how content creators get review codes. So whenever you ask me how I got a review code, I went to this website, Woovit.com. God. So I'm not going to log in because I'm so afraid it's going to show something that you're not supposed to see. Essentially, if you're a publisher like Atlus or any other company, you could you can sign up, and if you're a creator, you can also do that. It works for streamers, and it works for YouTube content creators. I believe it also works for, I think media has to do something else. It's separate. But basically, there's two ways you do this, or there's really just one way. You just search the game up. When games first get announced, they don't immediately go on these sites. So for instance, for Soul Hackers 2, the codes didn't go out or like weren't available for like download until like, I don't know, whenever I started saying I was playing it. So I think maybe early August or late July, something like that, right? So that's around the time that we were able to get the codes. And even then they don't all come out at once. So when the codes came out, the only ones that are available were for PS4, PS5. So if you wanted to do the PC review, you had to wait like another additional week for it to come out. So you don't Atlas doesn't reach out to you and give it to you. What happens is Atlas, or you have to like actively search it out. What Atlas can then do is, if you don't search it out, is they can look up people, because if you've signed up for Woovit, they can look up and look for different thresholds. So they can go, oh, let's look at any YouTuber who's RPG focused and they have more than 1,000 subs, and then they can invite you to play their game. Any company can do that if they're thingies. The thresholds change like depending on what game, and also depending on what publisher. For Atlas, I don't really know, but I've seen people who have just over 1,000 subs get review codes. It's not that hard. It's just you have to know this system, and it's not something that everyone knows. I didn't know it. It had to be shown to me. But suffice to say, that's how it is. Also, I don't have to ask Alice. I get the code like immediately because I'm special.
OOVIT, woovit.com, it's for YouTubers. And both my buddy, Taylor, from the gaming shelf, thank you, public relations, that's what PR means, yeah, right. So we both applied, because we didn't hear back from this guy. We never heard back from this guy, and he was the guy, giving codes to people from Atlus Games. So we subscribed to this website,
So, this is a lie. There's like, I mean, maybe they were also doing it this way, but they definitely weren't doing it this way. Like, that's not the normal way to do it. The normal way to do it is to go through Woovit and sign up and ask for a code. They usually have a set amount of codes that they have, and you can get it. It's not normal to email a company, and I've talked to several companies. I've reached out to Axis, I've reached out to NIS America, I've reached out to Namco, and I've reached out to Tecmo, and they all do the same thing, where I have to like sign up to a website like Woovit, and then I get the code that way. There's only a couple times where I've been given a code just straight out. It's almost never that way, because turns out companies tend to have like just one PR person, and the one PR person has to then communicate with thousands of writers for different publications. They have to communicate internally with different Atlas and Sega staff. They have to communicate with thousands of people begging for codes, like who are just content creators, or they could just be like Instagram people. They could be like all kinds of just like anybody. So they have a whole lot of emails to go through. And I'm not saying that like that it's okay for them to like not respond to you, but I am saying that it's very logical to understand that a big game like SMT5, I believe it sold more than 1 million copies. Like, of course, there's going to be a high demand for it. And also, you're not supposed to DM or at a Twitter account. One thing to consider, hopefully this doesn't dox me or show some private information. So if you look at my account, I'm not verified, right? When you are verified, like Atlas, hi Bridge Burner Boy, and also hi Faz, when you are, I didn't mean, so like any of these people who are verified, when they add each other, they're able to like see it in a separate notification window. If I added Atlas, it's hard to see. If you look at my mentions, like I'm a small time creator, and I get a lot of like little mentions in a day. It's actually kind of sucky, because sometimes I'll miss something because I didn't see it. And it's because like it just yesterday I got like 30 or 40 ads, and that's me with only 10,000 followers. That's our 11,000 followers. I'm already inundated. That's 30. That's a lot for me. I do this as a hobby. So imagine being Atlus, and you have 400,000 people, and let's just say only 10,000 people at you. So how likely is a unverified account likely to see that you added them? Not very likely if they're part of that 10,000 pool. Like, it's pretty dumb to kind of assume that like they're gonna see you. Very, 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 very dumb. That's like if you guys saw me in public and just whispered my name and were surprised that I didn't walk up to you immediately. Like, how am I gonna know that you were talking to me? Like, like okay, like let's go to Anime Expo, and I want you to whisper my name across the room and be like, "Dang, LaRue's so rude. He ignored me." That's what you're doing. It's pretty dumb.
You know, and we, like a few days later, he got the code and I didn't. And time passed and it seemed like.
For the record, Mako, I try not to ignore anybody. It's really hard. If you notice, I pretty much like everybody who I respond to. Like, I'll like the tweet. And it's not really necessarily that I like the tweet. It's more like my way of remembering that I've at least responded to them or engaged with them. Because I try to make sure that I engage with as many of like anything that as possible, because I don't want to be rude, you know? It's especially when it's something simple, like someone's asking me a question that I could easily answer.
Everybody was getting the code for Shin Megami Tensei 5 except me. You know, I sent another email to Sega PR.
For the record, yeah, Sega PR and Atlus's PR are different. It's Sega, Atlus, and then Sega like Europe or whatever. 3 different PRs, 3 different functions. Like if you're trying to contact Atlus West, your best bet is to contact the Atlus West PR. If you contact Sega's PR, like they're not gonna be able to do anything. That's literally like the people who do like Yakuza and like Sonic or whatever. They're not gonna have anything for you because they're separate. They're separate entities.
You know, it was probably the wrong email, but
it's kind of like if you were like at an auto shop and then you went up to the person on the front desk and was like, "Hey, can you like can you like fix my car?" Like, "Oh no, he's the front desk clerk. They're not the same person as the actual mechanic. Like they serve a different function."
I sent an email to them, and they never replied either. So I went on Twitter, you know, I tweeted, you know, the Atlus PR, same thing, completely ignored.
Yeah, so he got ignored when his single tweet was drowned in the thousands of other tweets that that Atlus West gets, by the way.
So you know the story already. So someone's saying maybe they blacklisted you. That's what I think, you know, maybe they blacklisted me because when the game came out, it turned out, you know, everyone and their mom got their code except me. So I obviously, you know, you guys know what happened. You know, I felt very offended.
It's crazy how much better this sounds at. It's 1.5. It sounds like a normal speech. Like just for posterity. This is the normal one.
You know, I felt like, you know, betrayed. You know, I was like, man, you know, fuck these guys. And at the end of my review from Shin Megami Tensei 5, because I ended up buying the game, you know, I was like, man, how am I not gonna make a review of this game after hyping the game so much, you know?
Hyping the game by making 2 videos where he talks about non-existent drama. He was betrayed because Atlus didn't recognize him for the 2 times he made up information just to get views. He was betrayed when they didn't respond to his excellent marketing strategy of talking about how the game is not out yet. There's no release date, and they keep on milking Persona 5. Or like his big brain marketing strategy, it went unrecognized and they betrayed him.
You know, months before. So I ended up buying the game, paid full price. That's something I rarely do with video games.
By the way, you see this? He said he paid full price, something he rarely does. Also, in the other video, the review video, okay, I like messed this up already. Hold on. In his review video, he quite literally says something completely different. I want you guys to see this because it bothers me, because why lie? Why do something that's easily proven as a lie? Like, why would you lie? Why would you lie on camera when I could tell that you're lying?
Hey guys, what's up? I don't really do reviews that often, or because someone in the Atlus PR for me. They refuse to give me a code, so it might be because they don't think my... Right. They gave the code to both the physical. Atlus refused to give me a review code, so I bought the physical version of this game. I was going to do that anyway. So I ended up buying the game, paid full price. That's something I rarely do.
I rarely do it. So which is it, huh, buddy? Huh? Do you buy the games all the time? You're gonna do it anyway, or do you rarely buy the games? Because you said both. I mean, sure, this could be like a thing where maybe you only don't buy games that you're reviewing, which is kind of like ridiculous because, huh? But either way, he's saying both. He's living in the Schrodinger's box of he was gonna buy the game anyway. He doesn't ever buy games, so it's one or the other.
With video games, So I paid full price and I made a review, and at the end I say, to the person who ignored my emails, go fuck yourself, right? Something like that. I think I said, go to hell,
He's gonna smile, watch, because he's proud of himself for being such an annoying guy.
motherfucker. That was awesome.
That was awesome. It's awesome when you're so mad that you say that you have to rant, cry. It's not even a rant. He's crying on his video.
And someone in the Atlus PR hates me. To that particular person, I only have one thing to say: go to hell, motherfucker.
And I love the lack of like emotion too. It's so passive. It reminds me of this meme. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I think it's like an Andrew Tate fan type thing. It was like so funny. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Maybe if I type in Manosphere TikTok meme. I'm not gonna be able to find it, but there's this guy who does like this thing where he's like, go to the kitchen, and then he's like, no one like jokes anymore, and he sounds like all passive and like kind of weird and weak. That's kind of this. It's like he's waiting for someone to turn around, like so they can't see him, and he's like, it's like, oh, I got you, I got you. You're not looking. Anyway.
Something like that. I think I said, go to hell, motherfucker. That was awesome. If I may brag a little, that was awesome. But anyway,
it was so awesome to get so mad that you have to cry on your video. I think, how long does he cry for? Let's see. That's right. So about a minute. He cries for about a minute.
So, I told the story in several Q&As, blah, blah, blah. Time passed, I gave up. I was like, man, so the Atlus PR hates me, right? So.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the faster speed because this is unbearable.
About a week ago, yeah, last week, not this one, last week, I got an email from this website that I told you about, wovit.com, Wovit, whatever. I got an email. Hey, Atlus is inviting you to try Soul.
So, like I said, when you sign up for this, they can look at your metrics and they can offer you the game. They can search, they can use their own search parameters, whether it's sub count, view count, whatever, and they can go, okay, let's offer to send this code out. Sometimes they do this if the code isn't being redeemed enough, like they haven't hit their limit yet. Sometimes it's because they find people who might be better fits, and they might offer it because maybe this person didn't even know that they can get a review code for this game. There's a lot of different reasons, but yes, Atlus can use the system that they're given to kind of offer codes.
Hackers too. I was like, is this some kind of mistake? So what happened is that I got the code from Soul Hackers. I downloaded the game, I installed it in my PlayStation 4, and I was like, I can't believe it. Atlus just gave me a code. So it was weird. So I reached out to them. There was an email there, and I copied it, pasted it on my email, and sent them a message saying, hey, I'm kind of confused. I was polite. I know I may come off as a guy who's not polite, or reasonable.
Comes off as a guy who's not polite or reasonable. Just remember.
Go to hell, motherfucker.
I was polite. I was polite.
To that particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
I was polite.
Because I rant and swear, but I'm not. In real life, I'm very polite.
He's very polite. He's very polite.
Of giving codes to YouTubers, particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
He does give off those vibes. We'll see who cancels who. Oh, I forgot the name of that guy, but he's such a loser too.
I sent an email to these guys and said, hey, so I told them what happened last year. I said, hey, so I told them everything, so this happened to me, I really wanted a code for Shin Megami Tensei 5. I sent 3 emails.
For the record, I know this Atlus PR. They have a heart of gold, genuinely care about the series, genuinely care about the fan base, genuinely care about fostering community. There's a reason why Atlus started doing retweeting art, why Atlus started following Jordan Peterson. Yes, there's a reason why Atlus started following small time like creators. Atlus started giving out things to small creators. There's a reason why they do that. It's because the new PR very much cares about the fan base. It's it's something that's worth noting, you know.
emails to different people. I tweeted them on the PR and was completely ignored. So I'm kind of confused that you're giving me a code for Soul Hackers 2 right now and not, and you, well, when you ignored me back then. So what's going on in there? I'd like to know, because I mean, if you see from a certain perspective, I felt insulted back then. So why should I review their games and advertise them, after what they did to me? And they apologized.
Why should I review their games and advertise them? Because it's gonna give you money. That's literally why he does any of his reviews. Like, I think that's like not to like besmirch people who do reviews, because everyone does reviews for different reasons. There's like Kurose, for instance. I know that he does reviews because he genuinely cares about like the thing. He genuinely cares about the thing he's reviewing and wants people to see what he thinks about them. Snarf genuinely cares about the content he creates when he's doing these deep dives into mythology. Like, there's people who genuinely care. So I think that it's really cringe for you to be like, ugh, how dare you give me a free code for this game that I really wanted to play and you want me to promote it? How dare you? You could just say no. You don't have to download and install it, like, you little baby. Like, if you really had the guts that you're pretending to have, you would just deny it and don't do it, instead of being like all like such a little baby about it, and then emailing them to be like, why did you ignore me? it's like the incel, like, it's like swiped. I don't know which way is the rejection on that thing on the app. I don't know which way is rejection, but it's like he got swiped, and then he found the person's name. He like looked them up and was like, "Hey, why did you swipe on me? You should have accepted my my courtship, madame." Like, he just gives off these really like lame vibes. He just seems like he just seems whack. No offense.
They replied
after I insult him a whole bunch. No offense.
I wasn't expecting a reply. I was like, man, they ignored me once. It's a guarantee they're going to ignore me twice. They probably made a mistake. Didn't know it was me. When they sent the code.
They didn't know it was you because they handle a million different content creators. I would venture to guess that although that they're fairly familiar with some of the bigger names like Johnny Awesome or Gnarly, they pretty much probably don't know most of us, and it's not because they're bad people. It's because they have to deal with a lot of people. In general, in terms of psychology, the idea I'm really hyping him up. In terms of psychology, we're only going to remember like a handful of people's names and faces. And when I say a handful, I mean like 20 or so is like how many people we're going to remember very well, very easily. And everyone else will be kind of hard. When you're in a job where you have to remember hundreds of people, it's going to be even harder. So like it's like he's giving himself so much credit. He's got 80,000 subscribers, which is a lot, like especially for an RPG channel. But like it's kind of BS. Like it's like me. Like I would never assume that people would just know who I am, because why would you assume that? It's so arrogant, It's so egotistical to just assume, oh yeah, Atlas didn't even know they were sending me the code. They hate me. It's like, no, you just slip through the cracks. It happens. It's not that big of a deal. You know what bothers me? Like my little gripe with Atlas is when our Nocturne HD Remaster came out, I didn't get the PR kit for it. I didn't get the cool box. I got the boxes before and after, but I didn't get that box. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not gonna kill me to not have that amazing box that I really wanted. But what am I even saying? What is the point I'm trying to make? Oh, the point is, I don't think they're being malicious by not sending me the box. It just happens. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down, Eric Langdon.
So I was like, so I'll just take advantage of that, and that's it. I'll probably never hear from them again. And then I did. I did. They sent an email list and they apologized. I just can't believe it.
I just hate, and he's like smiling like it's like he's so like it's such a Karen like response. He's like, oh yeah, I finally got manager to get this person fired.
And then I did. I did. They sent an email list and they apologized. I just can't believe it. They said, hey, we're sorry. The person who was giving out review codes for Shin Megami Tensei 5 is no longer working with us. He may, of course, they washed their hands and they said, oh,
like, why is he doing this? Why is he acting like Atlas is trying to duck him? He's not like Markiplier or something. Like, he's just one of the small content creators. There's a million small content creators. Everyone in this chat, myself included, small content creators. Like, I mean, maybe not all of us make content, but there's quite a bit of us. Like, we're like, it's pretty presumptuous to just think that this highly of yourself. It's really cringe. It's literally cringe.
Oh, so this person, may he didn't have enough time to give everyone a code, everyone asking for a code, which is fucking bullshit because me and my buddy Taylor from the gaming shelf, we applied the exact same afternoon.
Just because you apply at the same time doesn't mean that they're going to respond the same way. Like, there's a million emails. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And plus, do we know? Did you guys both hit enter at the same time to send the email at the same time? Like, and also you guys were doing the wrong way of getting the review code? Like, is that really, like, Alice's fault? Or is that your fault for not doing it the way that Alice does it?
And sent, and, it's just, and he got the code, not me. I mean, come on, Atlus, come on. So somebody said, oh, I got these two guys, and I'm going to send the code to these guys, but not to this one. Come on. But anyway, they had the decency to apologize and said they blamed it on...
They had the decency to apologize. Yeah, the person who didn't even do it apologized to me. They had the decency to apologize. I wouldn't apologize. I would do the very political apology where I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry this happened to you. I wouldn't say, I'm sorry that we did this or whatever. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry this happened to you. Like, because, and I'm pretty sure that's probably what he got to. I'm pretty sure he got the diplomatic reply, not the actual, like, I'm so sorry. He probably got, never, knowing this PR person, he probably got the actual genuine apology, because I know that the current PR would actually genuinely feel bad because they're nice. But I'm not nice. I would be like, Eric, I am sorry you feel this way. And then I would blacklist him quietly.
On the guy, they blamed everything on the guy who left. So that's pretty convenient.
Pretty convenient. So, for the record, if you went to McDonald's and you got served really bad food because the person taking your order was really rude and they weren't paying attention, just remember that if they got rid of that person, like, it's still all of McDonald's fault. All of McDonald's is at fault for this,
But I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I don't know the truth. I don't know what happened. Maybe they don't know what happened either. Maybe this was precisely a personal vendetta from this guy from the previous PR against me. I don't know. Yeah, but the thing is, they told me, yeah, we apologize for this, for what you went through, but we hope we can now establish this new relationship, and we hope you enjoy Soul Hackers 2 and share, your opinion on the game. Thanks. And I was like, I had really mixed feelings about that email, but I guess,
Had really mixed feelings about that email? You begged for an apology and got it, and you're like, they're blaming, like, a former staff. We don't even know what happened. Maybe the person who hated me left. Like, how could you have, like, so much entitlement, dude?
Oh.
And I don't think we should make fun of his accent, to be honest. He just has an accent. It's whatever.
I guess in the end, deep down, I was happy. I was happy to see that Atlus kind of recognized that they, not exactly that they made a mistake with me, but that they did something that was, what's the word here?
Normal? That they made a mistake? There's this famous phrase, to err is human. And it's because when someone makes a mistake, it's because people aren't inherently perfect. Everyone's gonna make a mistake. I've made several mistakes in my videos, especially the older ones. Watch any of the first, like, few videos. They're so terrible. But I keep them up because I think it's funny. But, yeah.
I don't want to say wrong. But what's the word here? They made a mistake with me, but that they did something that was, what's the word here? I don't want to say wrong. But that's the word I'm going to use,
They did something wrong. So, to reiterate, this is the timeline of events. Eric Langdon made 2 videos about Shin Megami Tensei 5. They weren't actually about Shin Megami Tensei 5. One video was about how the game hasn't come out yet. The other video was about how the game still hasn't come out, but also people are complaining because the character is ambiguous with their sexuality, and that people compare SMT to Pokemon and to oh, thank you, Amanda, Lord of Darkness, for the raid. And the other thing is that people compare it to Pokemon and to Persona, and he spends literally like 20 minutes like hyping up those like 3 facts over and over. So he went on this campaign to promote the game by talking about how bad the fan base is and how slow the game developers are with releasing this game. Then he saw that the game was about to come out, so he tried to get a review code. He couldn't get the review code, so he got really mad to the point where he literally tells, he literally says this to the fan, or to the staff who is working on getting everybody a review code. This is
Hey
what
guys,
this is what he says to them.
Fucker. The division that's in charge of giving codes to YouTubers hates me. So if that's the case, and someone in the Atlus PR hates me, to that particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
So he got mad because he had to pay for the game, something he said that he would have done anyway. But in this video, he also says that he doesn't usually do that. He doesn't usually pay for games. So we got like this whole thing of like that going on. And then he like signs up for WooVit because he tried all these really dumb methods to get in contact with Atlas and it didn't work. So he signs up for WooVit, which is the way that Atlas actually sends out codes. He gets offered a code for Soul Hackers 2, and instead of being as prideful and like insane and deranged as he was right here,
and someone in the Atlus PR hates me, to that particular person, I only have one thing to say. Go to hell, motherfucker.
So he's like, okay, well, now that I have contact with Atlas, let me send them an email to ask why they ignored me. He gets a response where they apologize to him for missing his email. They say that a former staff that no longer works there is the person who didn't send him a code. He says that he feels he says he feels ambivalent because, you know, they wronged him. That's what he says. They wronged him, and he says that they did a mistake and basically that they're just kind of pushing off the responsibility onto this mysterious staff who no longer works there. So in this, he's incredibly entitled, incredibly petty, incredibly vindictive, incredibly arrogant, because he really thinks that he was being purposely targeted. Like, I just don't understand, because there's so many YouTubers that I know who are small, like me, and we get review codes even though we're tiny, we're microscopic, and it's because we follow the steps. You go to WooVit, you sign up, and then, you know, they give you the code if they still have it, or you can request the code, or they can offer it to you. Also, sorry I didn't respond to you, Amanda. Hey, we were just talking SMT, so we decided to head over to watch the hate stream. Dude, this is it. This is it. This is the hate stream. It's probably the most negative I'll probably be on stream in a while, because, like, as much as I'm talking about it, I do feel like very drained, because I don't like looking at people who are like, I don't like, you know. I've talked about this quite a bit on like before, that I genuinely, usually what I'll do is I'll mute people, or I'll block people, or I'll unfollow people who I don't really, who I'm not having a good time with, because I don't want to surround myself with people I don't like. So if I find that you're annoying, hateful, whatever, I will block you or mute you. I think it's a healthy way of reacting. I don't like engaging with people that I don't like. And this guy is kind of proving himself to be the ultimate like elitist like content creator, because it's pretty boastful and pretty arrogant to assume that you deserve something, like you deserve a review code. I don't deserve a review code. I'm grateful anytime I get one, because I'm lucky, you know. I know I'm in a privileged place. There's content creators that make a lot of really good content that are, you know, they're lucky if they get a review code, you know. So it's weird to kind of come from this place of arrogance and just be like, Atlas is snubbing me, they're purposely hating me, F them, flipping them off, and then also like smugly boasting about how they apologized. Like, let's finish this video, then let's go back to the part where he's like really smugly talking about it, because it's so childish. It's really bad. Like, I really don't like it, and I don't want to bring creators down, so I usually don't talk about people I don't like. But this video was so irritating to me that I wanted to talk about it. Thank you, Junebug61979 for the follow. Thank you, Johnny77PRZ for the follow.
Something wrong, you know, they wronged me last year. I wasn't entitled, you know, no YouTubers out there are
I wasn't entitled. He proceeds to make 2 videos about being entitled, but, you know, whatever.
entitled to get codes, you know. But the least I could have gotten back then when I sent 3 emails and a tweet was a simple reply.
He sent 2 emails to the wrong people, and he sent 1 email to a person who was inundated with emails, because that's not the way to get review codes. And also, they have to deal with a million things. The Atlas PR people aren't just posting on social media. They have to do a lot of stuff. PR is a lot of work. It's like not as simple as you think. There's a reason why those people tend to make pretty decent money. It's because it's a lot of work. It's a lot more than just responding to emails from content creators. So it's really arrogant to assume that you're gonna get a response right away. There's several times where I've sent emails and it's taken like a week or two, or some of them haven't been responded to at all. But I'm not gonna take it personally. I'm a small time content creator, who's you miss every shot you don't take, but at the same time, you can't get mad at yourself or get mad at the other person for not responding to you. I'm not gonna hold it against Shoji Meguro for never responding to me because he's a big time guy. He's busy. He's making his own game. It's not his fault that that he's not responding to me. It's just a fact of life. It's not that big of a deal. Like don't be so annoying about it.
Maybe they could have played dumb and said, oh, sorry, we don't have any more review codes for this game. It happened to me once
It's not playing dumb. They usually do have a limit on how many review codes they can give out, so that is a thing.
with another company, for a code of another game. I don't remember which game it was, but I asked for a code and they told me, oh, yeah, we ran out of codes, sorry for this, and that's okay. There's a lot we don't know, guys. There's a lot we don't know, but the point is that Atlus apologized to me, and now I'm playing Soul Hackers 2 in case you're interested in knowing.
So anyway, that's the whole video. It's also annoying because he talks about how he got a review. This happened to him before with another company. We tried to get a review code, but it's also important to state.
Hates me. So if that's the case, and in charge of giving codes to YouTubers, hates PR reviews because I don't really do reviews that often.
So he says he doesn't really do reviews that often, and yet he is constantly getting these review codes. It's kind of weird. That's a kind of weird thing to say. Again, he's kind of done this thing in these two videos where he presents information that's easily disproven by previous videos. Definitely don't be like this guy. If you like, content creators can do better. You can just be positive and not go out of your way to like throw a fit if you don't get what you want, because odds are you're pretty much never gonna get what you want all the time. And I know that like it sounds like a lot saying like for me saying that, but I try to like respond to everybody and it's hard. And I'm a small time creator. I imagine that the bigger the scale, the harder it is to do. So yeah.
At the beginning of October last year,
I just wanted to go back to the part where he kind of like smiles, when he like smiles in remembering how he told how he like flipped off the Atlas staff. I think it's this right here.
I ended up buying the game, paid full price. That's something I rarely do with video games. So I paid full price and I made a review, and at the end I say, to the person who ignored my emails, go fuck yourself, right? Something like that. I think I said, go to hell, motherfucker. That was awesome. If I may brag a little, that was awesome. But
so he genuinely doesn't seem to even think that he did anything wrong. Yeah, no one is owed anything. Exactly. That's literally the moral of the story. I find it pretty like despicable, and it's really unlikable. It's one of the most unlikable traits is to feel entitled to something and to feel so arrogant about your platform. Like, I will never assume that people should just know who I am, or people should just be like, oh yeah, like it's LaRue. Like, no. I already know that if that ever does happen, which it's not going to, like, it's very unlikely. It's not that, and it's not really good for your mental health to even want that to be the case, to be in a position where you want yourself to be like known very easily. It's like, why? Like I just make videos, It's the LaRue. But I don't even know how to even end this stream. It's just don't be like this. Don't be annoying. I think this is one of the most entitled videos, and I looked at the replies too. Poor guy. I had enough jobs to find out all the mistakes and problems that have been pushed on my head, and on top of that, it was all things I had nothing to do with. Yeah, it's almost like that's what happened to the current Atlas staff. Like the current Atlas staff got all of his like anger pushed on them, and then he literally goes ahead and says, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I feel conflicted. Like, it's like, what do you want from this person who wasn't involved in the situation that upset you to do? Like, they apologized on behalf of the former staff. What else can they do? They gave you the code. What else can they do? They apologized. Like, what do you want? Well, at the end of the day, the whole issue with Atlas was really the one person is in charge of the review codes. The apology from the new guy was just probably just protocol. I don't think it's protocol. I think it's just good. It's just good behavior. It's being human is being able to be like, oh yeah, sorry. Like, I'm too petty. I would not apologize on behalf of someone else if you reached out to kind of air your grievances with me when I'm not responsible for it. I probably would give you, like I said, the very corporate, I'm sorry you feel that way type of apology. I wouldn't apologize on behalf of the other person. But it's okay trying to move on and forgive. So good for both of you. The third one. Oh, let's see. Wow, how can some feel so entitled that he wants an apology from a company not giving him a review code for a game? Back when I was writing reviews for a website, we send out review code requests daily, and some we never got heard back. Others just refused, while others dished out codes left and right, and still do, although the page isn't active anymore. I never felt personally offended by a company not getting back to me, or the team or when we didn't get a code. Exactly. One thing that I learned, by the way, is this thing that he says here, or they say here. Others dish codes left and right, and that's because there's like one of the most archaic but still done methods for this. Is if you request a review code, you send you send evidence that you work for like a website or whatever, or maybe you have a defunct website or a YouTube channel that still has like whatever. Like, sometimes they'll just continually send you codes because you're on a list, and they just auto send out the codes to the people on that list before deferring to the people on the WooVit thing. And usually sometimes they'll call it stuff like whitelisting, which is like they just automatically get approved, and sometimes it's like so you'll just be on the whitelist. And that's very common. So like I can't tell you what companies do that because I don't know all of them. I only really ever communicated with video games, like with RPG companies, but it's pretty common. And also I do appreciate this kind of stance because that's kind of how I feel. It's like not up to him. I want to see let's see. I thought the same, and I really like this channel. Honestly, he's allowed to feel this way. It's not like hearing back at all from a job interview. Lol, it's just rude. As someone who's actively searching for a new job right now, I don't take it personally when people don't respond to me or don't send me or don't call me after an interview. Like one of the biggest jobs I applied to had like 300 applicants, and I got interviewed, but I didn't hear back. Like, sure, it would be cool if they put forth the extra like 10 minutes to call me and be like, oh yeah, sorry, you're not what we're looking for. But I'm not gonna like be mad about it. Like, I don't feel entitled to a reply, you know? I totally understand him, and it's, to be honest, and it's pretty respectable. And he's a pretty respectable JRPG YouTuber. I disagree. So it's not an unresponsible demand either. The fact that it's a demand at all makes it bad. I can't remember what happened with the person he had the drama with. Oh, it was David Vink. So I'm gonna see, because basically the reason why I don't think he's a respectable YouTuber is because he had beef with this guy, and in during his beef he said some pretty homophobic things because this guy is homosexual, and he said it like to insult this guy. I think they made up, and even and David even was like, "Oh yeah, like we're fine now," but like I don't want to watch the videos. I like, as you can see, I watched them before, but yeah, like I would never call someone who's openly hateful, especially just because they are having beef with another YouTuber. Like, that's not something I would respect ever. Like, the idea of ever like insulting someone because of their sexual identity is pretty despicable. You know, it really sucks when you crave content on some age. Yeah, it does suck that like that is the case, but luckily there are some people who will fill that niche. it just sucks that there's it's really hard to do. It's really hard to make content on that because they like you're already limiting yourself when you do make content. So like if you wanted to grow as a content creator, like being like me and talking about like kind of in like what is the last few things like there's you can like even like being like me is like not the best. It's not a good growth strategy because like if you look at my channel, where's my video? Like I have some pretty like pretty low performing videos, but because no one cares about the history of Persona 3 dancing, I do, so I made a video about it. No one cares about the history of Ultimax, I do, so I made a video about it. There's good like it's really rare for me to have a video that performs well because usually it fills a niche that people want. But for the most part, I do videos on things that people don't really care about, and it's like if you're trying to become like a full-time creator, which I'm not trying to do, by the way, it is limiting, and it is hard to be good at it and also be okay with not making any money or making very little money and it just being a passion project, you know? Yeah, like that tips from annoying and rude to being unambiguously not a good person. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Yeah, especially after hearing he says he never pays full price for a game. Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me hold on. 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry, Pascal. I'm sorry. So obviously you can just look behind me. But I want to show you that like I have 3 copies of this, or I bought 3 copies of this, the premium edition, and I gave 2. You know, I gave 1 to my brother and I gave 1 to a friend. And then I also have 2 copies of this. This is the Japanese version that I imported. I think that it's important to support the company if you actually care about their products. I didn't know if I was gonna like SMT5, but I definitely wanted to support it, and I had the means to do so. I'm like, I think that it's pretty cringe to even do the whole thing of I never paid full price for a game. Like, why is that why is that a thing? Yeah, this box is actually really pretty. Like, it just looks really nice. It's got a huge waste of space here though. This is just a t-shirt, which I haven't even opened because I'm one of those people. Then here's like the thing. I don't know where the art book is. I think I took it out to scan it, but I didn't really scan it in the end. Point is, like, it's not hard to just support a company. I mean, you don't have to do what I did, but you can definitely at least buy the game. To brag about not paying full price is another like entitlement moment. It's even like a humble brag. Like, don't do that. That's cringe. I mean, I know I just did the inverse where I bragged about being able to buy the games, which is another privilege, a separate privilege. Hold on, hold on. I forgot I was going to a bonfire, so I do have to end the stream really quick, really soon. But I forgot that I was going to a beach bonfire today. Anyway, so yeah, so we got this guy who's entitled. He's he definitely has a air of self-importance. He's done some pretty hateful homophobic things towards another content creator, and he's not willing to accept the apology from someone who doesn't even deserve to send him an apology because it's not their fault, you know. I do like bonfires. I just hate smelling like the smoke after. It's a really weird thing, so I have to make sure that I don't bring anything that I don't want to smell like smoke, because I don't want to smell like smoke. So yeah. So then yeah, then they go. So then to finish this little conversation chain, you probably don't know about the nasty stuff he said towards the LGBT community. Oh yeah, it wasn't just directed at David. It was like the LGBT community in general. I suggest you look it up and see his David's reaction. He's also said some pretty messed up stuff about feminism too. So if you want more reason to dislike him, there's a bunch there. That's depressing if true. And then this guy, this cringe lord, now I like this channel even more, and it's got more likes, which tells me that this kind of fan base likes this kind of guy. So this person, it's a bad mindset. His payment isn't games, and he doesn't work for Atlas. This is in reply to this person here, which I agree. I agree. If someone gave me a free, I mean, whenever Atlas gives me a free game, I'm happy because, yeah. But at the same time, I still bought Soul Hackers too. Like I have the Japanese and English collector's editions. Like it's weird to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm a content creator, so I should get it for free because I'm I don't get paid in games, you know. It sucks because also he did delete his videos that show some of his like hateful stuff. He can, you know, the amount of RPG knowledge he's dropped, you know, the millions of people who have gotten into RPGs because of him. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who I would be like, oh yeah, like based on the little bit that I've seen of his content, especially because I've only seen the stuff related to SMT, I don't like his content because it doesn't seem very well researched, and also because he doesn't seem like a good guy. So there's that. Anyway, SMT was hyped because of YouTubers. It was hyped because Persona 5 having so many YouTubers make content about it. I don't even agree to that. I don't think SMT was hyped because of YouTubers. I think that SMT content is still in the micro. There's still not a lot about it. It's seldom you'll see any Megaten content creators get over 100,000 views on a video. And it's because it's still a really small fan base in terms of like people who actually care to look it up. At the end of the day, in summary for this video or this stream, I'm not okaying you to be outwardly negative to this guy or to like spam his channel with hate or whatever. Instead, take his response as like a learning experience. Maybe you don't have to be hateful. Maybe you don't have to be entitled. If you want to be a content creator, you can use MoveIt. I'll post a link. If you're a content creator and you want to get review codes, that's the link. Sign up. There are like restrictions. They especially don't tap the glass. Yeah, don't throw glass and don't throw stone in glass houses. All that jazz. Just don't be a lame guy, and maybe you'll be okay. All that being said, I gotta go to the spawn first. Sorry that this stream was short and that I was mean. I'll try not to be either of those things, short or mean. I can't promise. But I can promise some Pascal. Let's take it away, Pascal. We're gonna listen to the Pascal theme real quick. We're gonna Pascal it up. All right, take it away, Pas. I don't know why he's letting me do this. Okay, bye guys.